Maya, what is your honest opinion, and I want your honest opinion, on the modern day man?
I think they're distracted, and I think they lack emotional literacy in themselves. I think they struggle to know how to evolve with how women are now and how the times are now versus where they maybe was even 20, 30 years ago.
Okay. So how are women now?
I think women have more options. They have more independence. They realise that they can get more for themselves than they could maybe 20, 30 years ago. And I think that is now making men feel that they're not as necessary in women's lives. And I think that's where they're struggling to evolve.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, and I do agree in terms of men don't know where they fit into society, the average man anyway. But looking at women, would you say women are happier in the modern day than what they were previously?
I don't think independence gives you happiness, but it does give you a way of being able to get out of situations that you wasn't able to before. So for me, I would classify myself as independent. Financially, yes. Emotionally, yes. I know how to regulate myself. However, those things don't always form into happiness. That's something that happiness is a scale. It changes like any emotion. But I think now women are probably feeling like, well, if I am so dependent, then why do I need a man to add to that if he's going to cause me any troubles or problems and they're not evolving with them?
Yeah. I think the whole connotation of independency is absolute bullshit, because no being is independent.
No.
Everything relies on something else. If you look at the earth, it relies on oxygen, so on and so forth, sunlight. The earth itself within the solar system needs the sun to move around and whatnot. So the whole idea of independency is farce. It's interdependence. And because independency has been pushed probably for the last 10 to 15 years, and being a strong, independent woman is the thing to do. And if you're not, you're missing out. I think women have been conned. What's your take on that?
Women have been conned. Conned to become independent. No, I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with that is because for years, like, yeah, I'll call myself a feminist because that word, it gets misconstrued all the time. People see it in more of a negative light depending on what they believe about feminism. But yes, I am. And things that I am able to do for myself, I was never able to do years ago. They only started doing clinical studies on women's bodies in the healthcare space in 1977, right?
Yeah.
So now it is my right to use those things and options that I can. Emotionally, I agree with you. We all depend on somebody. People need people, full stop. But even if my grandparents wasn't able to do the things that I was able to do, and I should be using those rights to do them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, times change and no system's perfect at all. I completely agree with that. But some systems are better than others. Now, if you look at feminism and you look at liberalism, they are the two most powerful ideologies in the West right now. And since they've come into fruition and taken a grasp of Western society, has there been an improvement in Western society or a downward trend?
Depends what we're looking at. In my opinion, I think now for women, because they have more emotional independence and they also
When you
have
say
some
emotional independence, sorry to cut you off there, because I'm not clear on the phrase, emotional independence, what does that mean?
we don't need other people to regulate our emotions. We can do them ourselves in the best way possible.
Can't you just do that anyway?
Not everyone can, no.
No?
Not many men can.
You're right. In this day and age, yes. Previously, they could.
Could they though?
Yeah.
I don't think... I think the thing is patriarchy and that version of how men needed to be back then, it didn't always help them, did it?
It didn't really need to help them. It helped society. It didn't need to help serve them. And we're looking at emotional independence and how you defined it. I agree. Men aren't emotionally independent anymore. But if you look at the fallout from that, men are 4 times more likely to kill themselves than women. They're way more likely to be killed than women. They're way more likely to commit murder than women. They're way more likely to go to prison than women. Why has this happened? you've got to look at the clues, okay? And it's come at a time, and it's the perfect storm. Whoever's in charge, whoever's created this perfect storm, have done a great fucking job. I'll tell you that now. But one of the key factors was to convince women that they didn't need a man. And then on top of that, convince them that their only true attribute or quality is their beauty, nothing else. And if you look at the sexualization of women, and you look at the objectification of women, hasn't it just supercharged over the last 15 to 20 years?
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, of course. And I think it's because what we're able to access now, like things like porn, they're not new. They've been around for a long time, but the access to it has changed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember going to the newsagents, having a look at the top shelf. Like, damn, that's mad. Now it's on your phone.
Exactly. It's on Twitter. It's on X or whatever you want to call it. And too many people are exposed to very sexual images of women. It's too young. And I think that's where...
It's not just porn though, is it, mate? It's like, I can remember when that Rihanna track came out, Rude Boy. I went around to my mate's house. White dude's got a 9-year-old daughter. His daughter's singing, Rude Boy, can you get it up? She doesn't know what the fuck that means. No, you laugh. But if you look at the lyrics, and it isn't just pornography, entertainment as a whole has got no fucking morality anymore.
No, but who runs the entertainment industry?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying women are to blame. What I'm saying is women have been conned, like the rest of us, to think a certain way. Would you agree or disagree with that? Have women been programmed to think a certain way?
I disagree.
Really? Really? So you're telling me that we are influenced by media?
Yeah, we are influenced by media.
So is there a possibility that women might have been influenced by media to act in a certain way?
Yeah, there's a possibility, but there's also the complete opposite too. I grew up listening to Rude Boy by Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. I listened to all of them, Little Kim, and I didn't turn out that way. So I think...
What way? Because we can't make that comparison, because we can't get a clone of you that grew up in the 60s, for example, can we? But what I can say, if we look at the trends and we look at teenage pregnancy, we look at pregnancy and childbirth in and out of marriages, broken homes, crime rates and all these other things, if we look at that and then if we correlate that with the amount of sexuality being pumped out, there is a higher level of correlation. So we can't deny that fact.
Yeah, but there's two parts to play in that.
And what's the other one?
Being sexualized, you need to be sexualized by somebody, right? And that's the men.
You sexualize yourself. You sexualize yourself. Okay, let me put it this way. I do understand what you're saying, but at the same time, if you were to dress a certain way, present yourself a certain way, speak a certain way, you're going to be perceived a certain way.
Okay. But even if you are, as a woman, in that predicament where you do cover yourself up more, that does not stop you from being sexualized.
You're less likely.
You might be less likely, but it doesn't stop it.
So doesn't it make sense for us to go down this route of it being less likely? It's like, for example, if I go into a neighborhood where the crime rate is high and I go there with, I don't know, my Rolex on, the chances are it's a higher chance of me getting stabbed or jacked or whatever. Doesn't it make sense for us, because we are logical beings, to go down the route of the thing that is the most safest? Doesn't it make sense to do that? Or do we hide under the guise of independency?
But I think the notion that you're trying to portray is that just by dressing a certain way, that would make you safer. That is not true at all.
That's an example.
But it's not true at all. Because as women, no matter what people may think how you present yourself, right? It doesn't matter what you wear, how you present yourself. If someone is mentally unwell and willing to hurt you and do certain things to you, rape you, abuse you, that is on them. That is their nasty thoughts.
Yeah.
So if that is to happen and I'm fully clothed and then it doesn't happen when I'm not fully clothed, what do I take from that?
Yeah, we're not really talking about mentally unwell people. We're talking about the sexualization of women and the safety of women. Are you with me? Are the two correlated? In societies where women aren't hypersexualized, are they safer societies for women?
Not always, no.
But are they as a whole?
No. I don't think.
They're definitely not.
I don't think in any societal point, anywhere in the world, right, there is going to be a place where women have been sexualized. Simple as that. Because men, sexualize women, full stop. That's just the way it's always been.
We're genetically wired to be attracted to women.
Okay, so if it's the genetically wiring, then what purpose does how I dress make the difference? Does that make sense? If you are saying that is your genetic right to sexualize women.
No, I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth there. What did I say?
You're genetically wired that way.
To be attracted to women.
Be attracted to women. Okay, what's the difference between attraction and sexualization then?
Attraction is, I find a woman attractive. The sexualization, I see it as a piece of meat. That's the sexualization. That's the objectification of a woman. She's a piece of meat. Attraction and that are two completely different things. So
when I walk down the street as a woman then, how am I meant to, with no words said, nothing ever spoken to me, how am I meant to differentiate from first initial reaction of what a man thinks of me, whether he's sexualizing me or he's attracted to me? Sometimes you can't.
You're a smart girl. You know men are going to find you attractive, right? You know that for a fact. Okay, cool. So in terms of your safety, what's the best approach to take to that? You know men are going to find you attractive. Okay? What can you do to kind of improve your safety? What are the things you could do?
Have discernment. Be able to judge people well. And that comes with time. And as young women, discernment isn't something that you just have, which is why sometimes you have to meet the wrong guy and the wrong person and the one who you maybe got wrong to then learn how to have better discernment outside of that. And this is why, like, you know, sometimes I see fathers who will overprotect their daughters, and they should. That's their daughter. Of course you should. But I don't think they realise that when they step out into the world, they're going to have to learn that lesson themselves. They're going to have to come across a man who doesn't have good intentions to maybe learn about the men who do.
I think rendering somebody in your care capable rather than protecting them is a better way to go about things. Protection isn't the best way to go. So equipping your daughters and your sons with the right information, the right morality, is going to be the most powerful thing that you can do.
I agree.
And morality covers a lot of different dimensions, you know? Appearance being one of them. The way that you talk, the way that you act, the way that you interact goes a long way. Now, you touched on dating there and essentially kissing enough frogs till you find a prince, right? That's what you described. Do you see any problem with that method?
With exploring your options as a woman and dating men to find the right one.
Yeah, because you said in terms of discernment and being a good judge of character, that comes with experience.
Yeah, it's true.
And sometimes women need a lot of experience. Yeah, they do.
Depends what we're classifying as a lot though, because sometimes we all know that one person maybe who's been in toxic situation after toxic situation and they don't learn until the fifth. And then we get one person who has... Maybe there's things within them and a certain attachment style that keeps them drawn to that. And because they only know that, that's why they keep repeating the same cycle. But then some people do it once and then never do it again. But the same way that...
Very rare though. Very rare that happens.
For women or for men?
For both. Very rare that happens, that you will have one bad experience and then you'll never have the same one again. And I think the whole... The dating strategy is flawed in that sense, because if you were going to go back to being a traditionalist, and I know being a traditionalist kind of looked down on by feminists because it's the patriarchy and it's come from organized religion, and religion is there to control people, and which couldn't be further from the truth. It actually is a prevention, which is always better than cure. But if you look at being traditional and the traditional way of doing things, no matter what culture you're from, no matter what religion you're from, it works a lot better. But if you are, in this day and age, I'm going to speak for men here, if you are a traditionalist, you will get overlooked.
Overlooked for wanting a certain type of woman?
In general, by women in general. By women in general, because going back to what I was saying earlier, women think very differently nowadays because they have been bombarded with media, with social media, with music and popular culture to be a certain way. And it's always a case of the girl always wants the bad boy. So the traditional good guy gets overlooked.
Is this where that phrase, like, good guys always lose?
They do.
I think it's a respect thing, in my opinion. I think it's definitely a respect thing. And I do believe that women want men who feel like they can lead them naturally, because if they don't, they become more maternal towards them. And that's not a healthy dynamic to be in. But I think one thing, and you'll probably agree, men lie a lot to women, especially in the beginning. So the truth is, as a woman, from my perspectives and from a lot of women who are exhausted by it now, they are approached in a certain way. They are sold a dream. And then 3 months, 4 months down the line.
3 months is typically 3 months. It's
3 months. It's always 3 months, right?
Falls.
Yeah, the mask falls. And then we're left with a person who we never actually signed up to be with. And that's where now we have the opportunity to go, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I'll find someone else who's not going to do that. Back in the day, maybe because our options were a little bit smaller in more Western communities anyway, you'd find one person, you'd stay with them. There wasn't no social media, but that wasn't always the best thing for people because they were getting with the wrong person.
I think it's better than what's happening now. I think it's a lot better than what's happening now.
Yeah, people have too many options. People don't value people as much as they do because we see them through a screen and not in real life.
Yeah,
how
for
you
sure.
treat people online versus how you treat people in person. And you and me will both know because we get trolls all the time. Those people wouldn't say jack shit to us in person. So in dating, it's the same. People dehumanize you if you're on a dating app because they think, oh, this woman's on a dating app. She just must want sex, or she just wants a bit of fun, or she's desperate. And then vice versa. We see men on dating apps and we're like, oh, he's desperate. Like, can't even go out and speak to women. He's got to speak to them on a phone.
This is the thing with that, though. I hear women say that a lot, that men nowadays just haven't got the confidence anymore. But this is the thing. When you're truly confident as a man, like I am, you run the risk of being labelled negatively. Toxic, misogynist, whatever. And it's become, I think it started with the Me Too movement. When that come about, yeah, it was atrocious. But then it was like, don't speak to a fucking girl. And then if you go speak to a girl, or you show interest in a girl, you're a weirdo, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. So that confidence, or being confident, has been knocked out of men by the way that women see men as disposable this day and age. Yeah, all right, mate, see you later. Yeah, you got something wrong with you. See you later. Maybe, just maybe, they might feel like they need to lie because women's standards are so much higher and unrealistic a lot of the time compared to 30 years ago.
But if you have to lie to someone to get them in a position to have them and manipulate them, then you're a weirdo. You should be able to be your honest self and attract the right person.
You should.
So that's not our fault. That's not our problem as women.
I'm not saying it's a woman's problem. I'm going the level above. I'm not saying
society's problem.
Yeah, I'm saying women have been manipulated to think this way. That, you know, the 6 foot, 6 figures, whatever that thing is. Yeah. Do you know how fucking rare that is?
No, it's very rare. I've never really believed in that whole viewpoint because at the end of the day, that's not the world we're living in.
Would you be with someone who earns less than you?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they have drive and motivation to do better for themselves, of course, yeah.
And in terms of the dynamic in those sorts of relationships, I'm not asking you to discuss your own. Do you understand how that can be difficult for the man?
Yeah, of course. Of course. But this is the thing. It depends what two people are providing for each other, you know, and that's the very important thing that everybody misses. Because as a woman, you can have someone paying your bills, makes more money, takes you on nice holidays, but he's emotionally vacant. He's not there for you. And when times get tough, he disappears. I don't think a bag's going to solve that. Do you know what I mean? Some women, it might. Materials help them. But for some women out there, they've been told that they should go for a certain caliber of man but fall in love with the exact opposite. So why is that? Because they provide something more than just the material. I
think those sorts of men are easily controlled, if I'm being honest with you.
With the ones who make less money than the partners. Yeah. But that's going to be more and more and more common now.
Yeah.
Give us 20 years. The way I think the world is, we're all online now and women are very good with a creative eye to create things, which is why they get paid more now.
Well, there's actually stats to back that up and you're right. 2 out of 3 university graduates are women. women earn 9% more than their male counterparts. So when women are now moaning about the gender pay gap, motherfucker, there ain't none. There is no longer a gender. It's the other way around. But what happens, if you look at London now, you got black men killing each other at an alarming rate. Asian men are labelled groomers and weirdos. White men have been underinvested in, so the only job that they can get is manual labour work, which is undesirable to the high earning women. And where does that leave men in general?
Well, they need to evolve. You need to be able to provide.
I agree.
More than what you did or your parents did.
I agree. This is exactly why I coach the way that I fucking coach. And these are the sorts of guys that I attract because they understand that's the problem.
But what are you teaching them to provide more of?
So with my coaching, as you know, it's changed over the years. For me, it's finance is one element. Being physically fit is another element. But also having the emotional intelligence to understand that the woman in their relationship is completely fucking different from them and what their demands are going to be. But also, a lot of the time, I've coached guys who are in the wrong relationship with the wrong woman.
Yeah.
And being able to spot that. But a lot of the time, these guys are stuck in those relationships. I mean, there's probably a guy who's going to be watching this, sitting on the sofa, holding a fart in because he's that fucking scared that if he lets it out, his missus is going to kick him out. Them guys exist. Yeah, I know. But it's the truth. Because you're laughing, but you know it's true though.
No, because I've actually kicked off when someone farted around me.
You're the problem here. You're the problem.
Vile? That's what a toilet's for. Go upstairs.
Yeah, understand men. But he's holding it in. Do you know what I mean? It can't be good for him. But that's what I'm saying to you. It's like, obviously I've used a funny example there. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Men are shook. Men are shook of being men. Men are shook of doing anything or having an opinion. This is what gets me. You know them guys who go on holiday with the missus? Yeah? You know what's coming.
What are you about to say?
Yeah. And if you look at the woman's profile, the female's profile, hella pictures of cheeks, yeah? Out. Candid.
Okay.
Who's taking the pictures?
Yeah.
Is he in any of the pictures?
Well, do you not think, though, that means he's less insecure, though?
Are you stupid?
No, of course. No chance.
No, it's not that he is fucking frightened because no guy.
I don't think he's frightened.
He's frightened.
I don't think he's frightened.
He is 1,000,000%
not
frightened.
Every single man is going to be like, I can't tell her not to post that.
So you're telling me that men like other men looking at the missus' cheeks?
Some of them do. Some of them love it. They definitely do.
Show me.
Men like when other men do a lot of things for other men's that's what they do. It's a very common thing. So if they've got a pretty woman next to them with a nice body, they're like, oh, well done, lads. That's
cook behaviour. That is cook behaviour.
But it happens, no?
It does happen, and it's cook behaviour. That's my point.
So what? Okay, so you've got a pretty girl on your arm. You're walking into a restaurant, and another guy goes to you, oh, you've done well there, lad.
What?
You're going to call him a cook?
What in your... No. If I accept that, that makes me the cook.
Why though? That's a compliment on your behalf.
Brother,
she's an extension of you.
Why are you looking at my woman like that?
Because she's beautiful. If she wasn't beautiful, you wouldn't have picked her probably. So you want to take her out and take her places. I think that's a lovely compliment, to be honest. If I'm out and if I'm with somebody, I'm on a night out or wherever I am and people compliment him in regards to me or the other way round, great. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's a fleeting comment. Do you know what I'm saying?
Not with men. Not with men.
So what? Any man that calls another man's girlfriend beautiful to his face or says he's done well is a cook or he's frightened? Is that what you're trying to say?
He's looked at her in a certain manner.
But didn't you just say that attraction and sexualization are very different?
This is what I'm saying to you. So what's he saying to his mate there? Really?
He's attracted to her?
That I'm attracted to your missus?
Of course, yeah.
You're getting a punch in your nose.
Why though?
You're getting a punch in your nose, you're getting splattered.
But so that's just you wanting to protect your own feelings though, because at the end of the day, it is. Because you should know that. You wouldn't have picked it. Like, let's be honest.
When a man and a woman are together, okay, not in a relationship, it can be platonic. Leave that relationship long enough, it goes one way.
What do you mean?
Okay. Not going to use himself here. You were on a desert island with a man.
So you use me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I feel bad now.
Sabrina.
Sabrina. Sabrina and Dave on an island. Platonic friends. For how long? It only goes one way.
Oh, you mean... Oh, okay. So when men and women spend long enough together, they'll feel some type of attraction.
With any human being, you spend enough time with another human being, you will form a bond. Yeah. The manifestation of that bond in men and women is sex, attraction.
So you're saying that another man complimenting your missus is dangerous because if he spends enough time with her, he'll sleep with her?
You know what? We'll kind of settle this after this goes out. Drop a comment below if you're cool with what I'm saying or if you agree with me, because we aren't going to agree on this.
Is another man complimenting your woman cook behaviour?
No, he's okay. It's you accepting that, him being comfortable enough to come up to you and say, bro, do you know what I mean? Don't well there. Do you know what I mean? Nah.
I think it's fine, personally.
Nah, it's
and it happens all the time.
You're a woman. You won't understand. You won't understand how men think.
Okay.
You don't understand how men think. So, feminism. Mm-hmm. In your world, what does feminism mean?
Feminism for me is being able to have options and rights to do things that you want to do.
What options are we talking about here?
That protect you as well at the same time.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people now, they'll see certain things where women will put themselves in dangerous circumstances and over-sexualize themselves to a point where that could be very harmful, not just to them, but to others, and they call that feminism. I don't really agree. I think, in my opinion, feminism is completely outside of anything to do with men at all. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Explain.
So, like I said, it's having the right to do the things that we want to do. So, for example, having a house. That wasn't always a thing that women could have. Having a credit card, that wasn't a thing that women could have. Mm-hmm. Being able to travel and go certain places on our own, that's not a thing that women weren't able to have. Mm-hmm. I don't see feminism as using men and getting a one-up because I am a powerful woman or something like that, which a lot of times...
So what you're speaking about is autonomy, essentially.
Exactly, yeah, autonomy. That's what I believe.
There's nothing wrong with a woman having her own house. In fact, applications in 2024 for mortgages, I think women were 16% higher than men. You with me? So there's more women going into homes, buying homes on themselves. Because
we've been oppressed. When you've been oppressed, you learn so much about certain things. And you even mentioned before the word strong, right? Now, the word strong, if we look into feminism, right? There's been a lot of examples that black women have always been labelled strong. The truth is, they just dealt and coped with more oppression. That's it, right? That's where that term strong black woman comes from.
Yeah.
And there's a book and it's called Am I Not a Woman by Bella Hooks. And it is about the contrasts between white feminism and black feminism. And we both experience things very differently. Mm-hmm. And now that word, it gets used and thrown around to people who probably don't understand it as well as they should. But I think for women, if it is about having rights of choice, you should be able to decide what that means for you. And any woman who sits there and goes, well, I'm not a feminist, Gilly, you wouldn't even be able to say stuff like that if it weren't for feminism. You have to be able to understand that everything that you're able to do today is because of the women who fought for us back then. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. So now it is important to recognise that there is an opportunity to be a feminist and you should always choose it because without it, you wouldn't be able to do anything.
Feminism, as I understood it before, well, not to your definition, heavily involves the demonisation of men.
That's misandry.
It's under the guise of feminism. And you've seen that I'm a feminist, men are the problem. I'm not saying you to think like that. I'm saying typically...
Because we're fighting the patriarchy. So naturally, I think that's why having negative outlooks
towards... Didn't the patriarchy work?
I mean, it worked for men. It worked fine for them.
It worked for everyone.
Did it though? Would you think every single woman was happy not having options and choices back then? It maybe worked as a society point of view.
Yes, but is society way more important than man or woman?
It only benefited yous, really, men. It always benefited men.
No, I disagree.
The patriarchy can harm men, but it benefits men more than it benefits women. Let's be honest.
I disagree. Look at statistics. Abuse against women, gone up. Rape, gone up.
But those things always existed. Those things always existed.
We can only go off numbers.
No, hang on. Those things always existed, though. It's not like these are new phenomenons.
No, they're
right?
not. They've always existed. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about the number of these cases going on. Is there more or is there less?
I actually don't know. I don't know the statistics. However, though,
I've done my research.
At the end of the day, if you speak to people within your close circles, and I'll speak to people within my close circles, just because they were from a different generation doesn't mean that type of stuff went on. It was more normalised, right? More people report things like rape and abuse and domestic violence now because they know it's wrong. Back then, we didn't know it was wrong. We thought it was normal. So maybe that's why the statistics are the way they are, because women would go home, get beat up, or the man would come home and beat them up. They'd wipe the face, put their apron back on, and get to taking care of the kids, and no one said anything. It was normal then. But I guarantee, that
still happens now.
Of course.
That still happens now.
But now we know that men can actually pay for the actions of what they do. Back in the day, maybe like, if we say 50 years ago, it's a thing to beat your woman to put her in line. That was a very normal thing for a lot of men to do. But now, because, like you said, things like the Me Too movement, actually making men accountable for the shitty things that they've done. If we were to do that with maybe my mum or dad's generation, they're like 60s now. Oh, I think the statistics would be probably around the same. I'll be real with you.
Do you reckon your dad would be affected?
Dad would be affected by what?
If you were to look at the wrong things to do, the bad stuff. You mentioned people of their age, things went on in that sort of, in that time. Do you think there are things that could have happened with the old man that might be punishable today?
Him? No. I've always stood on my dad's my hero. He always will be. He's the man who showed me exactly what the example of a real man is to this day. And at the end of the day, no one's perfect. All the men in my family are really good men. My experiences, my negative experiences of men were outside. So, no, I don't think it would affect him at all because he's an honest person. Yeah.
So it's interesting you say that. So your negative experiences of men have come from outside of your family, outside of your circle?
Yep. 3,000%.
Yeah. So when looking for a partner or somebody you're interested in, would it make sense for anybody to look at people like your dad, like the men in your family, as role models and think, that's the standard I need?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Agree. It's funny, though, because a lot of people think, okay, she's had a very good dad, so she'll know more, you know what I mean, about how men are. But sometimes it just unprepares you for how people can be. And me and my dad have had conversations about the modern day men. And he, like, rolls his eyes at some of the things that he's hearing and some of the stupid stuff that they do. And it's weird for me because I'm like, it holds more weight when another man reacts to it. Do you know what I mean? Us as women, we can sit around and slag off men all day. They do this, they do that. But when another man's like, what? That's my dad's reaction to most of the stuff that he hears about now. And he in the past, maybe if I've dated someone, he'd just be like, nah, he's not a real man type of thing. And he can see it before I can.
What's a real man for you then?
Sticks to his word. Full stop. Anything that he says he's going to do, he's going to do. Not for me, for his family, for him. And he's good to other people, even if he doesn't have to be. That's what I think a real man is.
You bang on. You bang on. I completely agree on that front. And one of the things that I stand on and I teach is integrity. My definition of integrity is doing what you say you're going to do.
What's a real woman?
Personally, it's somebody who's, what I have found is women in this day and age tend to try and compete with you. I didn't need somebody to try and compete with me or try to impress me with their career. I couldn't give a fuck. I really couldn't give a fuck.
Do you get a lot of that?
Because they see me as a certain way. I'm obviously driven, I'm obviously ambitious, and think, how am I going to impress this individual?
I thought you would get the exact opposite of that.
No.
Really, honestly?
No. So, I've got this job or, I'm earning this amount. Good for you. I'm going to give a shit.
I don't even think that's comfortable to even talk about in the first initial stages of meeting someone anyway. It's not the first initial,
but you kind of figure out, okay, what do you do? This, that, the other. And a lot of the time it's hyper independent women. And it becomes jarring. It becomes another.
But you know why that sometimes happens? In honesty. Now, if this is just someone bragging, doing the bragging rights, a bit of a flex in front of you to try and impress you, and that's not your problem. Just how they perceive you is why they've done that. However, if you find a woman who's becoming more and more masculine or more hyper independent, the more you get to know her, it's probably because you're not bringing the feminine side out of her. Simple as that. Because I've been in those predicaments. Every woman knows what that feels like. If you feel like you can't trust or depend on that person in however you choose to, and they aren't of their word, why the fuck would I trust you to lead me? I'm going to have to step up and do things for myself.
Yeah.
And this is why women are exhausted.
Yeah.
They're exhausted by it.
I hear that. What I do find though is, as soon as you start telling me you got this and you got that, and I've seen a bear. I don't care.
I think that's a character trait though. That's not a man-woman thing. It's a character trait, really. That's a level of insecurity, because if you're just talking to someone and you're trying to sort of show all these things that you have, like you're a magpie attracted to certain nice things. Wealth is unspoken. Success is a very unspoken thing. You can walk into a room, people know if you're successful or not. That's an insecurity thing.
Yeah.
And that's why insecure men with money are unbearable. Yeah.
It's you're right. You're right. But for me, it's in terms of what a real woman is, I just want peace. Men love this phrase. I just want peace. And
how do you provide peace though?
How do you provide peace? For me is learn to trust, because a lot of these women nowadays are in control of their own lives. Are you with me? When somebody steps in and be like, this is what we're going to do, it's difficult for them to take on. So I don't want to fight you and have to drag you there kicking and screaming. Just do you in it.
But the thing is, in my experience and in a lot of women's experience, men say they want peace, but they don't create peaceful situations. They're not able to understand that silence isn't a good response to things, and skating around things and not discussing them is not solving the problem. Being emotionally vacant is not a positive thing. That is not a peaceful environment. Like, the best way to describe it is, and I always like to use this example, let's say you lend two people money. Okay. And one person was like, listen, I'll get it back to you at this date. I'm sorry it's taken longer. And then the other person ghosted you. Which one is going to piss you off more? The one who communicated or the one who didn't? I was just about to say that. So the 3 C's. Crystal clear communication. Exactly. But men can't do that on an emotional front very well. Because a lot of the time, we can't be like that, or we struggle to be like that, should I say, because we're in survival mode. We're fighting so hard to find ourselves in this world where we're trying to get to that top echelon, that top percentile of men, because it's that more demanding. Yeah. You know, a generation ago, you could have a factory job and be okay. You're going to struggle with mate, you ain't getting a sniff. Do you know what I mean? With a factory job. But this obviously always runs back to this idea that women are shallow. I know many women who are with normal average men. What's that, sorry? There's many women who are with normal average men. And there's many vice versa. It's not like... Ultimately, what women are looking for is safety. You got to look at the biological purpose of men and women. It's to reproduce, okay? Yep. A woman will only reproduce if she feels safe. Yeah? Now, where the men aren't earning enough, the woman probably makes up for it. You see a lot of women now getting sperm donors and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah? Freezing their eggs. Yeah. All that sort of stuff. So why? Because they've created a safe environment for themselves. Exactly. And this is the thing. They no longer need the man to create that environment because they are hyper independent. They are independent, so on and so forth, and they don't need the man. And the men are looking around thinking, what the fuck about me, bro? Is anyone there? But unfortunately, I think a lot of men now are paying for the mistakes that many men before you have made that have exhausted women so much. Be honest. Explain that to me. So all of the things that women have endured over the years. Like what? Like the oppression, being told what to do, not being able to have certain things, being in very violent situations, being abused. Do you believe a man should be able to tell a woman his woman what to do? Depends what. Genuinely, it depends what. That's a very loaded question. I know me, and I can only speak for me. I've bathed, washed, and dressed myself for all these years. And I know.
So.
What?
I should hope so.
Yeah, exactly. So someone telling me, because when a man tells you something about like what you want to wear, what you should wear, okay? It's okay if it's coming from a personal opinion. Like, you know what, babe, you look better in that one. Or you know what, babe, that one suits you better. But if outrightly you're not wearing that, that's not for me. That's for you. That's for you to feel more secure about.
So would you say you struggle being led?
No. I just think it's how you go about it. I think it's how you approach things, because at the end of the day, if someone's talking down on you and making you feel small, inherently the guard's going to go up. Do you know what I mean?
No, there is. You can't be direct with. I think one of the worst things you can do with a woman in a relationship is be really direct.
But not even that, just communication. Like, yeah, you do have to say things in a certain way, like you would to anybody. Like, you don't say things too harsh to certain people if you don't know them sometimes. I know you probably do.
I get paid to do it.
Exactly. That's your job. But let's say you're talking to an older woman, like a granny. You're not going to be that...
Auntie's getting spoken to differently.
Exactly. So you know how to obviously form different levels of respect. So why would you talk to your woman the way you talk to people on FIFA, on COD? It's just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? With that level of aggression. Like, you can say things in a better way. And I think if you learn how to communicate and you have that skill, then technically, yeah, maybe a man could tell me what to do or tell me what he preferred me to do in a way that was comfortable and safe for us both, and I'd be fine with it. Simple as that.
Would you?
Yeah. Maybe.
I know you.
No, I could. It just depends, though.
On what?
I don't like when people tell someone to do something that they don't do for themselves.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
And if you've met me this way, I'm not going to change. That's what I think it is. If I've presented myself to myself to someone, right, and I am the way I am, and I dress the way I dress, and you've seen me all this time before that point, and then you start trying to control what I do and what I wear, I'd be like, is this the mask falling type of thing?
Don't you believe that a woman changes as you go through different periods of her life? And
Of
that
course.
might, yeah.
But let us change because we want to change, not because someone's told us to change. Like, what I've noticed from when I was younger, there is no statistics on this, but I do see it a lot from younger women. We go through a phase where our bodies change and it's kind of awkward. So we'd have to like relearn how to dress our own body. And some women are hitting puberty faster. Maybe they've got larger breasts, larger bum, and then some women are coming into puberty later. And that shifts the way you feel about your own body, how you move it, and also how you dress. So if you ever see those very young girls dressing very provocatively, like I'm talking 13, 14 with tiny, tiny shorts on, it's because we don't have that sync. We're still in that mid-between of being a woman and still being a child. So you've got to kind of express it and understand it better. It's no different.
Where are the parents at this stage? Because for me, it's like if I had a daughter...
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have parents. Maybe the parents aren't bothered. Maybe they're just treating them exactly how they were raised, right?
Yeah.
So you never know.
So that's kind of been bred in almost, that way of thinking.
But it's an awkward thing as a young woman. It's almost like you probably remember that time where you were like turning into manhood and your voice starts dropping and you start feeling all this testosterone and you don't know how to manage it. For women, it's the same, but it's just how our body feels. It's very awkward. So when I see young girls dressing very provocatively, I know it's a phase they'll probably
Where do you think they've got that from? Because they haven't just like all of a sudden
Probably pressure. I think it can be pressure, you know, if you're in school, especially westernized schools, you know, sexual talk and everyone exploring things is very big. So if you're maybe not the popular one and you see other women getting attention and you don't know how to speak to boys, you might just go, well, if I just dress that way or
I'll get
do a certain thing.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's a very confusing world
I do
for young
feel
women.
for women in that, especially a certain age of women, like Gen Zers, people who were born in the Gen Z generation. They were the first generation that grew up with social media consistently. Yeah. They also grew up in an era where parents are also overprotective, like overprotective. And you deny that as a child, even though we don't know anything, we don't know no better, but it's just annoying, it's jarring. I remember being a kid and just always being told what to do, but I had a bit of sense about me. It's just let me explore that, and that's how a lot of
men feel now as well. You know what I mean?
And both men and women, boys and girls of that generation, have high levels of anxiety, high levels of depression,
Yeah.
Eating disorders, mental illness, suicide. In fact, girls had higher social media use. There's actually studies on this.
Yeah.
And their anxiety and depression compared to that of boys of the same age was a lot higher, because everything had to be overly polished.
Yeah.
Every picture, had to be perfection.
There's more for us to consider. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Men, you'd have a trim. You get in shape. That's the minimum and maximum
But
that you're
the boys
going to
went
do.
in a different direction, and kind of explains what is going on now. Boys would then go into video gaming. Like
Distraction.
you said, COD and FIFA to me, like, what the fuck are you on? Like, no. I think the last time I played FIFA was like 14 or something. But anyway, and the other thing was pornography.
Yeah.
Now, look at the dynamics. You've got hypersexualized girls dressed in a certain way. You got these guys watching Pornhub.
Yeah.
Yeah, wanking their life away. That no longer know how to speak to women.
And they no longer know how to look at women either and actually approach them, because they have this idea of what women are like.
And that generation there, like, I think Gen Z, like 1997 till 2012, that's what the class is, there or thereabouts. Those people are adults now. I'm looking like late 20s. They're fucked. They're fucked. The girls are calling the guys weirdos. And the guys
I'm in that generation now, aren't I?
That's what I'm saying to you. So, like, with all due respect, you, with that information, you have not experienced the world before that.
Exactly.
And what it was like. Are you with me? And I have. I've seen the world function and society function in a much better manner.
But I think now, if you're to understand younger men, like with that application, it's teaching them how to evolve in the best and possible way for this environment.
Put the fucking phone down, bro. Put the phone down.
No, I agree.
Like, one of the things we track with my clients is phone
Screen
usage.
time.
Yeah. It's shocking. Yeah. And I know if it's past a certain amount, you're doom scrolling, you're either watching porn.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing on your phone that much? Like, I work off my phone a lot, and mine isn't that high. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So the dependency on the device, they form a bond with the device.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, when you form a bond with something, it's because there's an absence of something else. And a lot of the time, it is an intimate relationship, a meaningful, intimate relationship. It could be a project. It could be purpose. It could be a community. But they form this bond with an electrical device. And what they're going to watch, they're going to scroll social media and they're going to watch garbage.
So other than working with you, how do we get positive mentors for men then? How do we take the men today who are probably like 15, 16, approaching their manhood?
Yeah.
What mentors should they be looking for? Should they even be looking for that? What should they be doing?
They should be looking for a mentor. You need a big bro. You need a big brother of some sorts.
And not a social media one who trades something stupid online.
Yeah.
Like sells ghosts all the time.
Yeah. You need a positive role model in your life that has experienced life before that generation. You need that there. And also somebody who is an expert in life. And what I mean by that, a true expert has made all of the mistakes.
Yeah.
Every single one. That deems you to be an expert.
True.
And bro, I've made every single mistake. And then some. Yeah? So in terms of that, like, somebody messaged me the other day. It was a meme. It was something along the lines of, we only do this life thing. We're all doing this life thing for the first time. How can you be a life coach? Yeah? It's because I might be able to speak to someone who's 60 who's not lived a life.
You have faster experiences and adapted quicker. Probably.
I fucked up more than anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. And I've got no fear in me. I'm not saying that as a macho sort of bravado front at all. I've got no fear in me. And that only comes from losing everything multiple times and realizing I'm still okay.
So if that's the case and you think experience and options and the things that you've done are important.
I didn't say options.
So experience.
Yeah, experience.
Okay. So should women have that same thing then?
No.
Why?
No.
Why? Because that would make a smarter, more resilient woman who knows where to channel her energy better, like you do.
It creates damaged women. I'm sorry, it creates damaged women.
But there's many men who've probably been through similar things that you have and are damaged and don't know how to get out of it. Like they're traumatized from certain things and they're not able to come out of it. But that's going to be...
Because they are men who've been through certain experiences but are trying to deal with it with a feminine mindset. That's the difference.
What is a feminine mindset?
Hyper-emotional.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
Because when men are emotional, wars start.
This is what I'm saying. No, you're right. You are right. Because men are starting to think more with emotion.
But they need to. That's where the evolving's coming in.
What I'm saying is as a man, I'm not talking about with a woman. I'm talking as a man.
To other men.
With other men in society.
Yeah.
Logic is going to get you way further than emotion as a man. Because if you are
But you said that men bond in hardship.
They do.
Hardships are emotional for many people.
Yeah, when you're going through it together. What I'm saying is...
So that's emotion that you're bonding on?
Yeah, feeling emotion and displaying emotion are two different things. Men display emotion way too fucking much. This whole, it's okay to cry and, yeah, cool, cry. I cry, cry in private. When you cry in public, it is a call for sympathy and pity. It doesn't get you anywhere. Anyone who turns on a fucking camera and decides to cry, whatever you're going through, I hope it gets a lot worse. Because I swear to God, because it's what is that serving? What? Look, I'm having a shit time. Look, shit times are only good to talk about after you resolve the fact.
Yeah.
Only after. That's when you got your kudos. That's when you got your, your brownie points. As you're going through it, shut the fuck up and deal with it. For real. Think of it. Think through it logically. And this is my point. Men nowadays are suppressed warriors, okay? They are suppressed warriors. And when a warrior has been suppressed, there's pent up anger, frustration, emotions, and the ultimate expression of a man's frustration and anger is violence. And when violence comes into place, it will either cause violence to himself or to somebody else. So
what you're saying is that if a man is having emotions that he needs to deal with, he needs to deal with those things on his own?
No, I'm saying deal with them fucking logically. Logically. I can ring, I got guys who I don't speak to very often. I've got friends I don't speak to very often. I've got a barrister friend. I've got a school, he's a head teacher. Are you with me? These are guys that I was in primary school with. I can pick up the phone with them and they can help me work through anything. Yeah. The issue is people haven't got that. Men haven't got that. The only guys that they got are fucking drinking partners that they go to the pub with and they only see on a Friday and Saturday night or even a Sunday when they go straight through, no brew. And that's the only friendship that they fucking got.
It's false friendship.
It's bullshit. It's all bullshit because the people
see that in sports communities.
Yeah. And the people I used to do that with, guess what? Nothing against them. Still love them to bits. We ain't got nothing in common because our commonality was getting fucked up.
Yeah. But this is the hard thing, and this is why I keep going back to the word evolve, because I was so shocked at how many men don't even understand the differences between anger and aggression. They think it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. They think being sad, or they can't even recognise those feelings. They've just not got the tools. And this is the problem, because for women, we can read it. We're very intuitive. We can read when someone's sad and everything else. But they're stepping into relationships with those same ideologies that they don't know how to even express it. And that is the gap that they need to fill now. And
this is the issue. Women say that you should be able to talk to me. No, a man can't talk to a fucking woman about his emotions.
I disagree.
No.
I disagree. I think that's a fear. When people say that,
it's not a fear.
The person you pick in your life is going to have to go through watching your parents die, maybe friends die, loss of family, things are happening.
Yeah.
That's going to be a time where you're going to have to be there for each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's ridiculous to say, as a man, I would never express any of my emotions or talk about if I was feeling sad. Because let's say you're going through the toughest time ever and you only know how to express that into anger. Yeah, you're going to blow. And we recognise that straight away.
This is the issue. Women, when they vent and they share their emotions, what are they looking for? They're looking for empathy. Yeah? When men vent their emotions, what they're looking for? A motherfucking solution.
Well, maybe they need to unlearn the fact that not every single emotion straight away is gonna, not every, when you're right, because sometimes as women, we talk about things together. We're not looking for solutions. We're getting it off our chest.
Yeah.
But you know how good that feels?
It's not
And
the same
most
for a
men
man.
don't even know how to do that. Like, if I said to you, what's
We
the
don't
feeling of
need-
humiliation
No,
feel like?
it's not about humiliation. We want a solution. Men are solution and progress driven. We can't deny that fact. Women interact very differently. So when it comes to sharing certain emotions or certain problems that you're having with your missus, there's certain things she ain't got a clue on how to fix because she's not a man.
No.
Are you with
Maybe
me?
she doesn't have to fix anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a safe space to express a
That's
stressful
gay.
feeling. That's not gay at all.
It is gay. It is
So
gay.
other-
You talking about your emotions is not going to do fuck all. It's the same as fucking therapy. Therapy is a waste of time. It's the same. It's the same shit.
So
Just
how
talk
do you grow closeness and a bond with a woman then?
not through that.
How? You just take on all of her problems and let her moan to you, and you just sit there and go, all right then, babe, let's go to Casper's and get a cookies and cream. Is that how you bond? This is the gap though. This is the problem.
The gap is the way that it's done. Women have their groups, which you mentioned. If something happens in your life, I'm telling you now, your group chat is going to be lit. Everyone's going to be chipping, you got this, babe, all this sort of shit, yeah?
Yeah.
Men haven't got that.
Will they need it?
This is what I'm saying. So my point is, a man, to resolve his manly issues, okay, can't go to a woman because she's not qualified.
Okay, that's fine.
And a woman can't come to a man because he's not qualified. And that's where the issue is, because
So there's the divide then.
it's not the divide. It's the divide. It's the understanding that men and women are not Swiss fucking army knives. Are you with me? They've got certain characteristics. It's understanding each sex's characteristics and how they operate. Once you understand the opposite sex, you're going to get, I get why he's being like that. Or she's being like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That's way more powerful than thinking, a man's meant to be this, when he simply isn't genetically wired to do that. His brain doesn't work the same.
I think this is the problem though when we're talking romantically, right? Men don't know how other men act in relationships. They only know how the man acts with them as a friend. And women don't know how other women act in relationships with their partner. They only know them as a friend, right? So when you're in that predicament and the communication isn't there, it's very frustrating to have someone constantly say, oh, nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, and brush it off. But they're not present anymore. They're not there anymore. Emotionally, they've checked out of everything. That's very hard. There's nothing you can work with. So it doesn't have to be a case of saying, oh, babe, I'm just so depressed, and pure pouring out your heart. It could just be, I'm feeling this, simple sentence, it's making me feel this way, but I'm going to do this. I'm not taking it out on you. That is a very simple way of just guiding a woman to understand how you're feeling. And most men think that's gay. How is that gay? That's just normal.
That's fine.
Exactly. So
I'm not talking about that.
But men can't understand the difference between what you're saying and what other people say sometimes. They think any expression of any emotion is gay.
No.
It's silly terminology. Even that word gay, it's like, what? What are we talking about? That's like primary school talk.
Yeah, it is. But I'm saying
Stupid.
It encapsulates the fact that the woman cannot resolve the issue. You're not understanding what I'm saying. The woman is not
what
qualified.
I've just said is not even resolving it. It's just taking it round to a place of understanding and communication.
Yeah.
And most men would rather just say nothing. That's fucking frustrating. Have you ever been in that situation where you can't get an answer out of someone, but you know something's wrong, or you know there's something happening and your intuition's just kicking in?
So in that moment, should a woman be like, listen, go chat to your boy. Go speak to fucking Uncle Limpsy. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
So because
that's not my weight to carry all the time. And
this is what I'm
women
saying.
can't carry both emotions, their own and another man's, and I get that, and neither can a man. But
that's what I'm saying to you. So we need to have these separate communities that we go and pour into.
That's exactly, and that's a skill, and that's where men need to evolve to be better with that skill.
And men are more secluded than ever.
Of course.
Women have got their tight-knit communities.
What did you say? The lone wolf dies?
Yeah. But this is the thing. We've been taught that, and I've been of that thinking before, like, I got this on my own, self-made, lone wolf. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We are tribal. We are pack animals.
I agree.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
And there are hierarchies and there are the same dynamics that you'll find anywhere else. But this is the thing, because men are now secluded more than ever. They haven't got that. This is the issue, new thought. If you were to go down, the average guy, if we were to go to his mate with said problem, he might get laughed at.
No, I know.
Yeah. And the thing is, that's him expressing himself to his woman or to a woman isn't productive, number one, for him. I'm talking about him in this scenario. But a lot of the time, and this is the real shame. This is the real shame. You can't go to his brother and say, bro, this is what's going on. Because there's a sense of shame and guilt.
And that's so fucking sad.
That's fucked. That's fucked.
It's sad.
And that's one of the things, like, I hammer hard, like, listen, there ain't no judgment with anything you're going through, because I've been through everything you can name. I've been through it myself. So there's no judgment. And I'm there to provide a solution from experience and a way for you to think through this process that you can go and finally act out in a certain way that's going to be productive for your life. Yeah. Not hitting the fucking bottle, not hitting the bag, not going down, a route or a path that is going to lead to your demise.
Yeah.
That don't help nobody.
And that's the thing. That's what I think. When they don't have that, they say stuck, and a stuck man is the worst thing you can ever be. Like, straight off. I've met people when I'm younger and they're still doing the same shit 10 years later, even worse. And they're stuck because they were never able to have a community, someone to call them out on the bullshit either. Never held accountable, never really cared about. And that's why they just keep declining. Yeah,
it's bounce back ability. That's what I call it. I've done a training on that before. And it's essentially looking back at what's happened and finding the lessons in it. I think when you can find the lesson in something, you can then start to move forward. The thing is, people focus on the pain.
Reframing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they get addicted to the pain. They're addicted to, and it becomes a part of their being, so-and-so died. My mum died. Great. Okay. I get it. Wank.
Women do that a lot.
People die every day.
Women do that a lot.
And it's having that mental fortitude to deal with the shit that life's going to throw at you, because life's tough. It's not going to go your own way.
That's true.
Things are going to happen that are outside of your control. Your ability to deal with those things that happen outside of your control is going to determine how well you're going to do at life, and also the experience you're going to have of life. Because you only get one go at this, you get me?
Yeah.
So if we know that things aren't going to go to plan, doesn't it make sense for us to equip ourselves with a mental model that is going to allow us to move past those and carry on moving forward? And that's the thing. Men have not got the mental fortitude. I'm not here bashing men or women. What I'm saying is that both need to change in some aspects. Women are more masculinized than ever, and men are more feminized than ever. And it's not fucking working.
No. You said I'm more masculine.
Let me stop you there. Has anyone else called you masculine before?
No.
Have they called you masculine before?
Yeah, man.
Do you get it pretty often?
A couple times.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't really know what they mean by that.
Okay. So remember what I described earlier with, not saying you come out and say, yeah, I'm a coach and I do this and I got my own business. I'm not saying you do that.
I know.
I'm saying the way that you could be perceived, like, you don't intimidate me, but what I'm saying is, can be intimidating for a lot of men who don't know themselves, who don't know or aren't in their masculine energy.
Maybe I'm just not masculine. Maybe I'm just secure. You know what I mean?
For somebody to make that statement about you, and for me, I understand, dynamics and traits and whatever. For me to say that about you, I wouldn't say that just for the sake of saying it. I'm not saying it in a demeaning manner, okay? There's no way that anyone can call me feminine. No chance.
However, I do believe that in certain scenarios, men do have to have some femininity about them.
Of course. You've got to have a balance. I mean, you've got to have some level of femininity in certain areas.
So you've got a daughter.
Mainly dealing with women, yes.
Yeah.
Mainly when dealing with women.
Same though.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is...
Just the other way around.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you don't need to be masculine when dealing with a man, because you butt heads. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Have you experienced that before?
Yeah.
So
but it's not that. It's just incapability. I don't like it.
Incapability.
You've not stuck by your word.
Yeah.
I think the truth is, the biggest thing that you can give to someone is respect.
Yeah.
If you're not respected, and if you think I'm going to just go, oh, it's okay, That's not how I was raised. There's many women who may be like that. There's many men who may be like that, where you can take the piss out of them and they just forgive you.
Is that the line in the sand? If you can't stick to your word, I'm not willing to tolerate that. You're not allowed to make mistakes on that front. Is that what you're saying?
If you don't do the things that you say you're going to do, or try and perceive that you are this person and you're not, that's going to shatter in front of your eyes and my eyes. Do you think women do that as well? Of course.
Yeah. So
that's why I think it's very key to be honest.
It's on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't.
Shall I tell you the
beat around the bush.
fix with this? Common fucking sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And going back to traditionalism. If a guy was to come for your hand and go speak to your dad and say, what's your dad's name?
Chibby.
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 Chibby or
Chibby.
Chibby,
like
okay.
The Chippy, but with bees.
Uncle Chibby.
Yeah.
You know, I really like your daughter, so on and so forth. You'd be icked out by that.
I wouldn't. Never wouldn't.
Would you not?
No.
Okay, so this is the thing.
See, this is what, it's funny because you've perceived, because I think, especially like interacting with you've perceived me in a business front, podcast front.
I don't know you any other way.
Exactly. So you can be different in different places.
100%.
So maybe I'm more masculine in this area. Maybe I'm not like that on other parts and fronts.
Yeah.
And that's the duality of it. Do you know what I mean?
But I think that system or that approach works much better for this day and age. I'm
Nigerian, remember, so that's a cultural thing. Like, you have to actually go and ask the parents for things like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of payments, diaries, where's the camels, where's the sheep, where's the land. That happens back where my dad is from. So that would be very normal to me.
Yeah.
So that would nick me out.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the common sense thing, traditionalism works. And I'm not talking about just men and women beefing each other and being on opposite sides. I think the whole independent argument is flawed. It should be changed to the interdependent argument. How can we be interdependent? Yes, women are different. Yes, men are different. But there are certain traits and things that have been pushed by the media on both sides that have got us distracted.
Yep.
Not just men. Have weakened us. And have got us in a position where we're kind of against each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's bad. And I'm the first to say, I find myself slipping into misandry a lot more. I've
seen some of the shit you put up like a while back.
Yeah, and it depends. You know what it is? I just get shocked at the quality of men. Because I think when you are a certain type of way, like, I'm very respectful. Sometimes I get shocked at the stupidness that people will say to me or like send messages to me about. And it's always coming from men. It's never women. And that...
Is that on your social media?
Social media, yeah. And even in person as well.
Mia, you
people
know
don't know how to act sometimes.
Goes back to the thing I was saying earlier about somebody looking at you, looking at your woman. You are on display.
Yeah, I'm on display.
Yeah.
But there's certain things where I'm like, so this isn't even a male-centered topic. What I'm talking about is not even...
It doesn't matter. We spoke about this earlier. We know that men are going to pry. They're going to look in. Are you with me? We know that, okay? And thought experiment. You did the same job that you're doing now, but you wore a hijab. Do you think the amount of advances that you'd get from men, whether it's in person or on your socials, would be higher or lower than what they currently are?
I think you'd probably get higher engagement, not because of how you present yourself maybe, but the fact that religion ties into that then. Because I've seen a lot of women who wear the hijab in gym formats and they get a lot of hate from Muslim men for what they're doing, what they shouldn't be doing, or the things that they're saying. So I think it's still male attention. It's still not nice attention. Doesn't sometimes
What is
matter.
nice male attention? Because you put yourself out there, you know, you have your gym outfits on, you've done shoots in bikinis and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, you're a smart girl. What do you think you're going to get? Like, in terms of men and male attention, what do you think you're going to get by putting that out there? Be real. Like, what
do you know
I'm not saying it's premeditated, but if you really logically think about it now, is it going to be the response that you expected?
Which, if I put a certain picture up of myself, with less clothes on or a bikini or a shoot,
are you expecting to get more male attention?
Yeah, probably there will be more male attention. Yeah, and I know how that works. However, what I will say, See, growing up, yeah. When I was 13, 14, 15, I had more men in the 30s and 40s trying to talk to me and approach me, beep at me, than I do now. How the fuck that is. So sometimes it's so confusing because you think you can act a certain way and it protects you from stuff, but it doesn't. I was a 15, 14-year-old, do you know what I mean? I wasn't provocative. I wasn't doing anything stupid. And you still get that negative male attention. And that's to do with them.
Yeah,
not me.
No, I do agree.
That's not on social media, that's in person.
Yeah,
So.
I hear that. And it goes back to the over-sexualization of men. Like they've been fed porn.
Do you know who makes women feel like they've stepped into womanhood? Men, most of the time.
What do you mean?
Because there's a point where, as a woman, you're still stuck in that mind of being a young girl, but then one man sexualizes you and starts to see you as an older woman or starts to treat you a bit differently, and you clock it, you can feel it. It's not a nice feeling. And that's when you realise, oh shit, I'm not a little girl no more. It's not just getting your periods, because you can start your periods as young as 10, right? There'll be a moment where you're like, why is this older man trying to talk to me? Why is he doing this? Or why is he acting like that? And that's when sometimes you're like, shit, I'm technically a woman to him now. I'm not though. You know what I mean? I'm not ready for that. And I think social media and women in general, we grow up too quickly. We just get forced into it. But that's usually because someone's put us in that position.
Forced?
Not forced, just happens quite naturally. Like I said before, like when our bodies change and when we're in certain like you'll know, everyone knows a younger girl who was hypersexual when she was younger, or maybe did a lot of things when she was younger, and then now she's not like that, but she's learned that lesson. She probably was so confused about what she wanted to be or who she was at that time, and that's why when you get older, you start to learn all those things. A lot of
those girls just want validation in it, man.
Yeah,
they truly want to be loved,
heard and seen.
Yeah, and I think the only way that they can get that, or they feel like they can get that, and a lot of the time it is from girls who do come from broken homes, is they want that love, they want that feeling, and they think, I've got this thing now, my body's changing, I'm getting it, this person must love me, or I feel useful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm wanted.
Same on both sides though, daddy issues, mummy issues, everyone goes on. The childhood doesn't make an effect, it's not as bad. It is everything.
Massive. Huge,
everything.
huge.
It's your most formative years.
Yeah, it's the biggest determining factor in terms of your behaviour as an adult.
I can usually smell when a man has mummy issues. Like that. Like certain things, the way they act, how they perceive things, and they'll be like one way or another. Like they'll either just be very hateful towards women or brush women off like they're nothing, or they'll be obsessed with validation from women, and it's like there's no in between sometimes.
Yeah, I think you can tell. Some people do use it. Very rarely people use it and think, you know what, I'm going to be the complete opposite of what I should be.
Exactly.
But I do believe that women, honestly, are the most powerful beings, let's put it that way, in society, because they determine the fact of the quality of the next generation and how they are going to be raised. And I will argue the fact, and this isn't a shot against women, is that women of this day and age morally are way inferior to women that we've seen of previous generations.
Inferior?
Yeah. Morally
inferior. It's quite a loaded statement though.
It's not loaded, it's very straightforward. Morally,
so you're basically saying that no women of this generation...
I didn't say that, did I?
But you're kind of saying that, okay, well, just women now have less morals.
Mate, look at what I said, not what I'm kind of saying.
So women have less morals now?
Yes.
All of them?
I didn't say that,
As a general?
As a general rule.
But are you looking at the Western world, or are you looking all over the world?
Oh, all over. Okay. All over. Because you've got to remember the whole world's been social medialized. Let's call it that. Are you with me? So communities and areas of the world that previously would have not had access to certain forms of entertainment have got those forms of entertainment. So I'm talking worldwide. And we can't really argue that fact. Do you think the morals also have something to do with men as well? 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. The guys at the top are men. The guys with the media companies are men. Zuckerberg's a man.
Do you know? Sex sells. That's why you'll see young women come into certain spaces. So they'll just slowly start to be.
And my advice is to women, don't fucking buy this shit. And guys, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Because it's leading to the decline of society as we know it. Like I said before, suicide rates child abuse, all these other vectors that we're looking at are on the rise. They're on the rise. Why? Because we're being fed, brainwashed, men and women, and we need to just rip up the playbook and go back to old school values. That's what I honestly believe, and it would resolve a lot of issues, a lot of heartache, a lot of broken homes, a lot of kids that go into welfare and that sort of stuff. The prison population would decrease. Stabbings, killings, drugs. It's all in line with the breakdown of the home.
Yeah.
And we cannot argue that. And if we look at the factors that have contributed to the breakdown of the home, they are our true enemies. It's not men, it's not women. It's the factors that have caused that to break down to happen.
The sad thing is, though, even if we was to install those morals and values back, shit would still be fucked for certain people. I'll be honest. I think
they wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it. Why do you think Islam as a religion is demonized to the extent that it is? And you got to look at the people who are demonizing and the platforms it's being demonized on. We're going to leave it there because I said some shit before and the episode got pulled.
It got pulled?
It got pulled. Yeah, the one with Ash, it got pulled. It got pulled.
On YouTube? Damn.
Yeah.
YT ain't playing.
Yeah, so I love YouTube. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.